Yo, what up, mother pluckers? Welcome to a very different episode, a coronavirus episode of Pop Trap, Night Trap Podcast right here. We're gonna talk about some cool movies, and we have a guest today. Well, he's not a guest, he's usually here all the time, but this time he's at his home. It's Sucio. What up, bro?
Yo, this Sucio, aka Cerberus, aka Top Boy Supreme, aka Lesbian Wolverine, aka Kobija-chan, aka your ex-boyfriend, whatever the fuck. What else did I say? Anyways, what up, baby? It's nice to see you again, mijo. It's nice to be back on the show. You're over here in my humble abode, in my fucking collection of junk over here. What's going on with you, mijo? How you been? My
Junko Pop? We've been here surviving, dude, playing video games.
Fucking bored yet, way? I see you keep posting stuff. I see you're doing a bunch of shit. At least you're doing something productive.
I'm trying to entertain the peeps, bro, because I know a lot of people are doing it, but I'm trying. I was gonna play actually Zombies Ate My Nervers the other day, but I was like, man, Sucio's not here to play with me. But now we have.
Dude, I wanted to do a fucking stream of that and put it on the show, but I was like, I couldn't find my Super Nintendo port.
Dude, now that we have the capabilities, though, dude, right now I'm sitting at the table, at our usual table, but it's filled with like a pound of fucking cables and because of the setup that I fucking I had to do a setup for the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy Advance shit.
Oh yeah, when you fucking connect it to the Dragon Ball, it's cool. Anyways,
right here, look.
Today's episode. What's today's episode? Oh, how dare you? How dare you?
What is it called? I don't know. How do you even say it? It's a found footage movie.
Today's episode is a found footage from, I believe, 2005, Japanese, called Norgi, the Curse, or Norgi means curse or whatever.
Some shit.
Norgi boy.
I didn't.
So
does it have a G? I didn't know it had a G.
It's
I thought it was just.
It's Norgi. It's either GI or RI.
I think it's just Noroi. I don't know. Well, it's called like the Curse.
Anyways, if you're watching this, you look on the fucking title because we'll spell it right in the title. How about that?
It's gonna be the thumbnail anyways. So.
Yeah. So, anyways, 2005 found footage just started getting released on all like the major streaming platforms, aka Shudder. Shout out Shudder, they got a bunch of good stuff going on right now, especially during this time.
Well,
so
before that, like, you sent me an article saying that this was one of the scariest found footage movies, like ever, or something like that.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that movie, we can talk about a little bit of the other ones that have been. We all know the one that started it all, the craze. It didn't start it all, but it's the one that made found footage famous. That was the Blair Witch Project.
Of course, Blair Witch. What is that? 1999 or like fucking 98?
98, 99. It did come around The Matrix, and The Matrix was 99. So.
Okay, so I don't know about you, mijo, but I saw the Blair Witch in theaters. Did you see the Blair Witch in theaters?
Me too. You disappeared.
Fuck! Somebody called me. All right, I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah, you're there. Yeah, I saw the Blair Witch with my dad and my brother at the fucking, well, it wasn't Cinemark. It was a GMC right here.
Where, at Cielo?
Yeah.
When it had that weird like a spiral staircase thing?
Well, it was no, that was before. It was the one outside, where the Hooters is.
Oh, the outside one. Oh, right.
It wasn't a Cinemark.
So you saw that movie not knowing too much, right? Because I know I went into Blair Witch not knowing too much about it, and I went into this movie not knowing too much about it, except for what I told you right now, which was, you know, people considered it one of the scariest found footage films of all time. Now,
I don't want to. I don't want to go into.
That's arguable. But in the case of argument, what is the best found footage film that you, the creep, aka the horror aficionado of all time, what is your favorite one, or what's the one that comes up to you?
First of all these found footage movies, if they're scary, they're only scary the first time you watch them. That's
Okay.
about it. There is a lot of found footage movies. There's a lot of like crap. I think there's more crap than good ones. But there is a really good one that I don't know if it's a movie. You can watch it on. I'm fucking like burping and shit. It's a fucking.
Do it in my face, bro. Just burp.
I'm like, "Ah."
For night, you get smell-o-vision right now and smell what the creep just fucking ate, bro.
It's a movie that came out like on the web, dude. That was about aliens. I don't know if you remember this movie, dude.
Alien abduction?
Is that what it's called?
I think so, man. Because that one got a lot of.
It's kind of
attention.
shitty, like when you see the aliens at the end when they come in or whatever. But that one, I remember, scared the shit out of me the first time I watched it, and then I watched it later on, like now, and I think it's still scary. Right until the point where you see the aliens, because they're like these dudes with fucking like silver like jumpsuits and shit. But I think that one.
You mean aliens don't really look like that, bro?
Those aliens, fucking dude. But I think
as long as I'm not firing sky motherfucking aliens, I'm happy, bro. I don't give a fuck that. Any other aliens, I'll fucking box with them. Fire in the sky, I'm gonna cry.
because people even tell me like, like Paranormal Activity. Not really. All those are like.
I think the school of paranormal activity are the people who like Friends. You know, they like kind of the easy scares. They know they're gonna get a scare and they know they're gonna walk away.
It's the haunted house thing.
Of course. Now, I know the found film footage that I took to heart and showed a lot of people was Wreck, aka fucking Quarantine. And you know, it's funny that we're saying that now,
Yeah.
but the original Spanish film was really like imposing. You felt you were crushed by how close everybody is, and there was a bunch of like, you know, like cliche characters. It's all the policeman, the firefighter, the nurse, the news reporter, but all of those actors, even in the American remake, played those films well for being a found footage film, for being so, you know, kind of like schlocky and shady. They were great.
Well,
now,
yeah, and then they had like pretty good sequels that some of them weren't even like found footage and shit. They were still pretty good. The Spanish one, of course, not Quarantine.
I got my rings on, baby. I gotta put my rings of power on. Shit, I'm talking to you like this. All right, there we go. Now I got my fucking super villain.
You need a cat.
Dude, my cat just had cats.
Oh my god, dude. More pussy.
Hey, there's 20 cats outside right now, dog.
So then, yeah, the Wreck movies were like pretty awesome, but there's one that's not necessarily scary, dude, but it's a great found footage movie, and I think this might be probably the greatest for me, and I don't know if you've seen it, and if you haven't, you have to see it, and it's called Troll Hunter. Have you seen it?
Yeah, fantastic. The Norwegian.
Yeah.
I think that is also 2005 or 6. Now that movie, I did not know anything about it. Walked into like a Hollywood video and rented it for no reason, just being like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna rent this. I remember I saw that and I walked away and being like, that's the way you do a found footage film, even if it's so outlandish, you know, even if it's so kind of kooky and crazy. It has a mix of frights. It has a mix of its own. It creates its own mythology. The main characters, like, what's the main character that's always fucking chasing fools down or whatever?
Well,
like, I like that character. I liked all the characters.
The old guy, which he's
the old guy,
the troll hunter. Yeah, he looks fucking badass at the end. Spoiler alert! At the end, when he's gonna go like kill that big fucker, and that shit's fucking amazing. That movie impressed the shit out of me, and it was fucking amazing, dude.
Now, I don't want to leave this out. Yeah, everybody watch Troll Hunter. If you're going to take anything away from this episode, watch Troll Hunter at the very least. Please.
It's on,
now,
it's on Netflix, dude, so.
I don't want to leave this out because I do respect this film and I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, but Cloverfield.
Ah, fuck Cloverfield.
I love Cloverfield, and I know a lot of people don't like Cloverfield.
I fucking hate Cloverfield, bro.
I think that setup for a monster movie was perfect.
I fucking hated that movie because it had not just plot holes, but it had a lot of contradictions with the characters. Like, To me,
Absolutely.
they didn't fucking know what the fuck they were doing. Like they were trying to go by improvisation or whatever, and they just totally fucked it up. Because if you see at the beginning, it's a whole story about the guy trying to find this girl, right? Because he loves her. Or whatever.
Love,
But
because they had a weekend fling.
at the
and
beginning of
they
the
didn't talk
movie,
about it.
they're basically saying how they don't fucking give a shit about each other. We don't want to see each
Yeah.
other ever again. This was like this, whatever. This shit happens. Now all of a sudden it's the love of my life. I'm like, nah, dude, get the fuck out of that shit.
But let's be real. I think the love of your lives are always going to be like that, where it's like, get away from me because I'm afraid of being with somebody. But yeah, the emotional entanglements of Cloverfield did kind of fuck it up for a lot of people. I think people wanted it to be a straight giant kaiju monster movie, and they got kind of the opposite. I do enjoy the later half of that film because it ramps up, it slows down, it ramps up, it slows down over and over and over and over. Now, for a found footage film, I feel like that's the ticket. A ramp up, a slow down, a ramp up, a slow down. Now, getting into Norgo, I want to start off by saying about Norgo.
Just call it the curse, dude.
What do you want to talk about?
Just call it the curse, like, so that we...
The Japanese curse.
Well,
because we call the grudge Junun, right?
Juon. But
Junun.
before I watched this movie, dude, when I saw the article that you sent me and shit, I'm like, alright, found footage movie, you know. Usually, people don't talk a lot in found footage movies, you know. In this one,
Yeah.
there was a lot of fucking talking, dude. 1, 2, I'm a fucking blind man, so I had to, like, get close to that fucking screen.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't even know that shit either, man.
To read some fucking subtitles.
How they were on top of each other? That shit was rough.
I missed some like, parts, like, some little... But I got the gist of it, and the only thing that sucks, though, and I mean, Shudder, there's a fucking ice cream truck outside, and it's like... But...
Háblale, güey, dame dos, güey.
No es hachiro. No, but they're gonna hear it on that shit. But the only thing that I'm gonna tell this to Shudder. I don't know if it's Shudder's problem. I don't know if it's the movie's problem. But every time there was Japanese subtitles, the American subtitles were on top of it, dude.
Yeah, it was terrible. That one was crazy, bro.
And I couldn't figure the fuck out with all my life with pause, nothing, what the fuck it said.
Yeah, that one was super rough.
That's one.
2 points to Shudder for this one.
2, when you pause on Shudder, like on Netflix, when you pause, if you press B, everything goes away and it stays on pause, so you can pretty much see whatever's on the screen on pause, right? In Shudder, when you press pause and you press B, it takes you away to the movie. And I'm like, god damn it, so I couldn't clear the screen to see what it said. So I was like, well, whatever. I'm just gonna watch it like that. But aside from those things, this movie, I think it was pretty alright. I don't know if it was the scariest movie, but it had a good story. Before we get into those ratings or whatever, we can talk a little bit about what it was about. So
okay, well, first of all, hearing you say that it was an alright movie is already a high compliment coming from you, especially when it's a horror film. Now, for the people out there who haven't seen this, you know, there's 2 people talking who've seen this. Now, you know that Ricardo Montevanes, the paranormal researcher in Mexico?
Uh-huh.
So, essentially, this film is like that situation. Now, anybody who's a person who stays up and watches, these 10 paranormal films were caught online with those weird generic fucking narrators. Now, this film is almost the
predecessor. Are you talking about Chills?
Because it's an actual reporter going around asking people and being like, yo, what the fuck happened here? Murders, deaths, people getting set on fire.
He's a PI, but not a private investigator. He's a paranormal investigator.
Yeah, he's a paranormal investigator. So you start off this film knowing you're going to go into more of a Japanese research. Now, anybody who's used to Japanese TV, used to Japanese culture, knows how that shit goes. It's kind of like it ramps up and then it gives you a little slice, and then it ramps up and then it gives you a little slice. Now, I think this film did a great job of the Japanese documentary style. And before getting into the scary stuff, before getting into all that stuff, I really did think that the acting was good in this one. For a scary film that's supposed to be a found footage film, the acting was good.
No, I think the acting was pretty well done. It was believable. The only thing that I guess I have a problem with was
spoiler.
that
We're gonna get into the spoilerific part because we want to talk about it. So go.
well, but I mean, I there's no spoiling this movie. You know shit's gonna go wrong. That's why.
They tell you in the beginning, right? They tell you in the first 2 minutes that all this shit's gonna happen.
Well, that's why it's called found footage movies, because they found it after people disappeared and shit. So the thing is, they rely on the scares with the acting, which is good, but I find it kind of cheap sometimes when they're trying to scare you by just having a girl go, "There's something there," you know, like, I don't.
Are you talking about the part where they saw the ghost?
Well, she does that shit a lot.
Yeah.
The clairvoyant girl, I guess.
The main psychic character, because there's a couple main psychic characters. So this movie is about a paranormal investigator who starts investigating clairvoyances. He starts connecting the dots on people who are dying mysteriously, who are connected to a lady who moves around, and everywhere she moves, the people around her start dying, and her son. Now, I'm gonna say this about this film. I like the ending, no matter how cheesy that special effect was with the babies and all that.
Before you go into the ending, because there's a lot of parts in this movie where I think it's a cool movie, like, because it has like the parts of the investigation where they were showing that like TV show. I thought that was fucking cool.
There was a definite timeline that helped the story progress very well.
And then that other character, the one that's like he has like autism or something. Well, at least he looks like, or he's all paranoid.
There's a tinfoil man. The tinfoil hat. Yeah.
But I think that the movie does pretty cool things with. They kind of did that whole Blair Witch Project, the season of the witch or whatever.
Part two? Oh, we don't talk about that one.
No, but like, I mean, it's a horrible movie. But they had hidden things in there that you have to look for. But in this movie, you don't have to look for those things because the movie, like, pretty much gives you a replay of like, oh, we found this, we heard this shit in the background. Look, like we saw this. Like,
they did research, they investigated, they did their scientific analysis multiple times. Not video, but audio.
I did like that because that made you like pay attention to it, like, so you could find it before, you know, they tell you. I thought that was cool. That was like what kept me most in it, but it did drag a little bit before the ending. It dragged a little bit.
It's an hour and 45 minutes, so I think that 15 minutes really did kind of like push it.
I think they could have cut like 20 minutes out of.
You're more than likely right. Yes, you are right.
Because there came a point where I wasn't like paying attention anymore, and at the end of the day, or at the end of the movie, but I got the point of it without those 20 minutes that I didn't pay attention. You know, because I was like, I don't know, too much investigation. But going to the ending, okay, I thought the ending was the best part of the fucking movie.
Absolutely, you're right.
Because, I mean, spoilers, of course, but there's a part where that autistic guy, the tinfoil man, has a rock in his hand, and he has the kid in the other hand.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna beat the shit. And then he does.
Yeah.
And that shit, you're just like they don't show it, but you're just like, holy crap, like a kid, because it's like this like 5-year-old or 7-year-old kid, I don't know.
The interesting part of that scene was that the mask that they wear in the festival. Now, this is also a part that I love, but I'm gonna reinforce your part. that mask that he wears in the festival is exactly where The Rock fucked him up. I don't know if you saw that. You know how they kept making those faces? Like,
Hmm.
that Rock smashed his face in exactly the way that mask was, and I was like, oh,
What was that thing called? It had a name, and I don't
the
remember.
Kagibuta, the
Gaga,
Kagibuta.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, well, watching this film to me took me back to watching Godzilla. Because,
Oh shit!
uh,
Another thing that I really loved, dude. Everything was VHS quality,
yeah.
except for the voices. It has
They
HD
were
sound,
fantastic. The voices were amazing.
HD sound with VHS visuals.
Yeah, you're right. It's exactly everything we've ever wanted in high school. But
But yeah,
I
go
really
ahead.
like the film that they tied in traditional Japanese culture. Because if you watch the original Godzilla, they talk about the monster that came out of the sea, and they have those dances. And a lot of Shinto religions have a lot of small deities and demons and stuff. And I feel like Japan got too fixated on the Grudge and all those things, and I really like it when they stay very traditional, even if it's regionally traditional. I really did appreciate that. I appreciated a lot of things about this film. I appreciated the small details, how much they fucking wrote, all those fucking the tin foils. Like, that had to be a long. Even if you're getting that shit printed out, that's difficult. Like, to write all that shit. The
Well, I
designs
think
were
the
interesting.
the TV productions, dude, where they were doing like, the TV shows and
Actually,
shit. I think that was fucking cool, dude.
I loved a lot of things about this film that weren't supposed to be like, for a typical moviegoer, they wouldn't appreciate it. But to me, there was so much like finite details. I think this is, maybe it's not the best or scariest found film footage, but it's definitely up there. I mean,
I don't think it's, yeah. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I don't know what can scare me now. Like, to tell you the truth, maybe it's the scariest for somebody that
we're gonna watch
like
a
watches
scary
horror
film
movies
and cry later.
occasionally. Yeah.
Oh,
So
we didn't talk about one found footage film, and we should have. Cannibal Holocaust.
they'll come. I guess I said parts.
Are you
I
are you
mean,
scared
yeah.
of Cannibal Holocaust?
No, I'm more grossed out.
Are you more grossed out? I saw that as a kid, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I thought it was like some random man. I was like, "What the fuck?" I just missed that movie as a kid. When I became an
But
adult and I saw it, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I can't believe I
I,
missed that shit as a kid. I was like, "What the fuck?"
well, fucking, what was it called? The one I remember seeing as a kid. That is a totally found footage movie, a compilation of one of his faces of death. And I don't know if you know, but they're all fake. All the deaths.
What about
Uh,
that fall on the ground?
huh?
The fools that fall on the ground.
The only ones in the only Faces of Death one. You gotta remember.
Okay.
Faces of Death one. All the deaths that happen on screen are staged. All the deaths that are already like, oh, it's a car crash. Look at this person dead. Those are real, but that's it. But that movie fucking fooled everybody. Everybody thought that it was real,
Remember,
and it
we
was.
all like, "Oh, you can't rent that, fool. They won't let you rent that." And then you watch it, and you're like, "Man, what the fuck is that?" Like,
Well, remember trailers back in the day when they were like, back in the like
bad.
50s and 30s and shit. People died with this when they watched this movie. Shocking.
Now, what
Yeah,
was
now.
weird about this film too, and getting back to Norgi the Curse, is they used a lot of very classic found footage film stuff, which is tropes, which is the dead animals. There was a lot of very small ritualistic pieces, like the chords and stuff. Like I said, I found
Well,
this film within the finite details to be more interesting than the bigger story, which was, like I said, you get to the ending and you see all the dead babies and you see the shrine, and it's kind of funny. If that would have
yeah,
been,
it doesn't look too good.
if
Yeah.
that would have been a practical like effect with like babies, like even fake plastic babies, we would have been cool with it. But I don't know, man. To me, this is up there in the top 5 of found footage films, maybe even like 3 now. Like, I feel like I'm gonna
I do.
show this to people and be like, "Hey, watch this if you like this type of film." and they're gonna come back and be like, "Oh, I loved it, all this shit." But
I do remember how to get rid of that spirit. It was a bow, and then clap 4 times, and then bow again. Yeah, I mean, like shit like that sticks, and I think that's when you're like, yeah, this is a cool movie. That when you remember, when you remember things, like. I was trying to think of another because I feel like there's another found footage movie that was like fucking amazing, but I'm not fucking like.
it's that last
Hunter...
broadcast. I'm telling you, I can't remember what that was, wait. And you can't remember what that. It's supposed to be about the Mothman. I'm gonna watch that shit right now when we hang up.
Oh, Poughkeepsie tapes is pretty good too.
Poughkeepsie tapes. VHS for being. I like the format of VHS. And I went into this thinking, okay, it's the VHS stole the formula from here, right? Where it's like random little tapes like spliced together.
What I like about VHS is that it has a connection, I guess, because they're putting the tapes in that place or whatever. But you can watch that movie in parts, and it doesn't matter because they're like all little segments of like 10 minutes.
They're like Veronica, but good.
Yeah. So they're not like Veronica. And I'm wearing a Misfits t-shirt.
Yeah, you are. You're part of the problem, bro.
But this is it's a good movie. I'm not gonna say it's like bad or anything. It's not. Compared to like the Paranormal Activities movies, dude, this is like 1,000 times better than those shitty ass. Like Paranormal Activity started becoming this fucking annual thing that was just
like
crap.
Scary Movie and fucking shit like that. I don't understand how films like that get made. Like, I understand Insidious 1, and 2 and shit. I understand certain shit, but that one, I can't. As I was looking up for films to watch after this for found film footage, a lot of it was trash, a lot of it was terrible, but to me, this film really separates itself from that pile of junk. Like, if you compare this to those other shitty ones, it's not like them at all. Absolutely.
You know what's a really good one, an action one, and it's not found footage per se, but it was all done with a GoPro? Hardcore Henry, dude.
That, a lot of people shit on that one, and I think it's that shaky cam where like people get dizzy. I really liked Hardcore.
Dude.
It was like a video game, right?
The fucking choreography and that shit. I was like, that shit's amazing. But that movie really reminds me a lot of the one that I told you to watch. You haven't watched it, but the fucking Guns Akimbo.
I was supposed to watch
really
that shit
similar,
at the Alamo, and then all this shit happened. So I'm sorry, dog. I even invited.
No, it's fine, dude. You can watch it later on. Or do you have coronavirus? You're gonna die.
Oh, help me.
Well, I don't have shit. I've been locked in lockdown.
People have been making me help them fucking move their freezers and shit. I hate it here.
No, El Paso's not doing too bad. So
now, shout out to the world that's really bad right now. I hope you all get better.
I know, for real. Well, hopefully this is entertainment for you guys, so you can go watch a movie, play a video game. So I'm trying to put a video every other day. So I'm working hard. I would put it every day, but that's a little too much. We don't have that many.
That's all right. I'm gonna start doing the drops right now. But so let's send this one out. I think if you love Japanese horror, you definitely should watch this. I think if you're a found footage aficionado, you've probably already watched this. And people who,
if you don't like reading subtitles, don't fucking watch it.
If you're blind to shit, do not watch this because that shit was difficult to read. Yes.
It's a lot of fucking subtitles. They talk a lot in this movie, so
like they need to put the titles on top and not the bottom. But other than that, I can't really.
Yeah, dude.
This film is nothing but a labor of love, and I really appreciate it compared to the other films that are just slop trash that are just trying to scare you with bullshit.
Well, it's a slow burn, but it doesn't. I mean, Blair Witch Project was a really slow burn for one scare at the end. So I think this one is kind of in that vein. Where
I don't know.
It's like more
there was a lot of scares in Blair Witch. Huh?
No, but they were more of like, oh, we heard something, or when they moved, they shake the I think the main scare was when they go into that fucking house. Just the sense of being in a house trapped like that. That's what fucking scares me, dude. That's why when we were playing Blair Witch Project, me and Dr. Porn, those were the scary parts. When you're in the fucking cabin. By the way, you haven't seen that fucking game review, go watch it. But Blair Witch, I think that was one of the best. I still think I can still see it. I'm not scared anymore, but I can still see it and appreciate, especially the way how they supposedly the director just left directions for each one of them and their points.
Yeah,
and then they reacted. Right? Yeah, they just reacted to each other by whatever the directions were. Like, oh, this time you're mad. Oh, this time you're frustrated. Oh, you lost the fucking map or whatever.
Yeah, that's
I thought that was
like
cool.
those moments. Those were genuine moments, and I feel like in this movie, where people are missing, people are dying, you're finding people. Those were genuine moments too, where you're just like, "Fuck, the little girl died. Fuck, the little boy. So and so died. So and so died. So and so died." You're like, the circle kept getting smaller of characters that you had any interest in, and you go to the main part I found scary is that when they went into the house, they literally went into the house that they parked the car next to, dog. That's what a lot of people don't understand is they just did a big giant circle and ended up back on the street where the fucking car was. And that's what I remember being like watching that movie again. Now I feel like I'm gonna watch this film, and once again, recommend it if you stay up in the night and watch the creepiest shit or found film recordings or shit like that, you know, kind of like cheesy narrators that tell you, oh, the scariest films of all time, blah, blah, blah. This...
I'm telling you, you're making fun of Chills, bro.
Yeah.
There's this guy, his name is Chills.
I know.
And he has that voice that you're doing, though.
Oh my god. I can't believe there's an alien on the plane.
Yeah, that's fucking Chills. There's one I like better. His name is Nuke. Nuke's Top 5. And I like him a lot because he posts like scary videos or whatever of ghosts and shit. But I like that he doesn't believe in ghosts himself. So he'll even say like, was that a ghost or is it a hoax? So I don't know. I like him a lot. Like, that's the one we watch. If you want to see another scary one that like just finds creepy shit from the internet or like real things, even like shit that's just made up that's scary, Nexpo, dude. Go to Nexpo. I'm gonna fucking link his channel because Nexpo is a deep dive of weird, creepy shit of the internet, and his videos, dude, leave you unsettled, like to the point where you're just thinking about what he fucking said like all night. That's one of the scariest. Nexpo.
If you're a fan of that, you'll love this film, right? I mean, you're a fan of that and you like this film. So, you know, I'm going to give this a 7.8 disjointed baby fucking dead pigeon circle rope thingies out of 10. Because...
So that just fucking goes up to an 8, dude. Just...
you know, like I said, it's interesting, it's funny, you go in, it kind of drags a little, the CGI at the end is whack, but the practical effects, the actual people when they're standing there are very disnerving. You're sitting there, you don't want these characters to die, you don't want things to happen to them, not because they're great characters or funny, but because you feel for them. You feel for them being randomly picked, you feel for these people who get sucked into the situation. Fantastic film if you're a found footage genre aficionado.
Alright, so me, you know me, I'm gonna give it a 7.
So I thought I'm a
not
5
because
in your scale.
It's horrible.
You're just being nice.
No, dude. No, I think it's a 7. I mean for found footage movies. Maybe not in the whole realm. But because I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's just that those fucking 20 minutes, dude. Because those 20 minutes almost at the end that dragged, it just took me a little bit out. And that's me though, that like I'm a fucking horror fan, like completely. So that's just me. I think it's a good movie though. Like, rather watch this a million times than Paranormal Activity. Rather watch this a million times than, you know, like other shitty ass that There was another one called Paranormal or something where the ghost like rapes a girl. Paranormal.
Well, that's
something
the
else.
Holy
I
Spirit,
fucking forgot,
and
but
his birthday's about to be next month. Buster.
but I'm like, yeah, maybe this is one of the like the top 5 found footage. It's just that found footage movies, as much as they want to make them like you believe them, I think the only one that truly made that
Absolutely.
happen was Blair Witch, and it was because it was like this new thing. So now everything is ruined thanks to paranormal shits. So that's why I'm giving it a 7. It's not a. I don't think it's a bad rating. I think you should watch it. If you don't like reading subtitles,
If you're not a four
I mean,
fan, if you don't like
fucking
reading
watch
and
it
you're
'cause
an
they talk a lot.
analphabet motherfucker, don't read this. Don't read this. But like
Yeah.
once again, if you're a fan of this genre, you've probably already seen it. And if you're just getting into this genre, you have to watch this as much as you have to watch the Blair Witch, as much as you have to watch Wreck or Quarantine. Like this is one of those.
And remember, when the first credits roll,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
stop
yeah,
watching because
yeah,
that's not the ending. They put the real ending after those little credits. It's like 3 or like 10 seconds after that, but because I was like, all right, that was all right, but then they put the real ending or whatever, like
Yeah.
all that shit that happened afterwards, and that's when I was like, oh, that they found the tape. They found the fucking tape. Somebody
yeah,
knew
no
the
return
tape of what
address.
happened to this guy.
Here you stay out credit.
So that's like I like that shit. There was like four or 5 people involved in this movie in the credits. I was like, well, that's pretty amazing. You know?
I do love
But,
films with short
it's a
casts,
good-
with
it's a
small
good
casts.
movie,
To me, that's some of the best performances. Is small cast, and this was definitely, the 7 or 8 central characters were enough. They were more than enough to get this film definitely going. Now, one we didn't talk about either, and I forgot to say, As Above, So Below. Now, I don't know if you... I guess that's another
No, I
fun one.
haven't
We're going to
seen
have to
that
watch
one.
that, too. We're going to have to watch the fucking... What is that? That Lost Broadcast and this one, I guess.
Yeah, guy. There's some that I haven't did because there's a lot, dude. If you go, well, when Netflix used to be like more B movies and like, there was a lot of those. Now they're more of
Now
like,
it's all
Triple A
fucking
shit,
The
I guess.
Office.
But
And first of all, fuck The Office.
another bit. If you want to play a video game that's like totally found footage, that's not the Blair Witch, because the Blair Witch was kind of, I guess. Outlast 1 and 2 especially. You guys should play that. Like you basically need to be
As you
finding
said,
batteries
this,
and shit for your camera. Because
it reminded me of something. I really hope that one day, if they do make a Fatal Frame movie, it's kind of like this film. Now, people who are fans of Fatal Frame...
Well,
What's
Fatal
that?
Frame was fucking awesome, dude. Fatal Frame was a
Fatal
fucking
Frame
awesome video game, dude.
has, if it gets some sort of cinematic touch, I hope it's in this way, where it's a person kind of walking around doing that shit. Because, like I said, you felt stuck with these people. There was a cameraman and the guy, right? Like, you were stuck in these moments, like I said. I might even raise my shit up to 8.5. You don't even know. You might have to cut me off, dog. I could take
No, you already said 8, dude, so you're fine.
Wild card.
You can change it in your personal life. But not here, because I can edit you out. No, but, nah, it's a good movie, man. But it's because the more I think about, like, Troll Hunter, and I'm like, fuck.
I was
those
about
were,
to
like,
watch Troll Hunter after this,
really
and then I fell
good.
asleep. But yeah, I think this
Fucking-
episode capitulates found footage films. You guys got a list. You got a film to definitely watch. I hope everybody takes a little bit from this, even though if you're not a found footage horror fan, there's a bunch of stuff that's found footage that's not necessarily horror, like Troll Hunter.
Yep. That one's fucking good. But, anyways, I guess with that said, we're gonna end this one. But click like, share, and subscribe.
That's right.
Remember,
Quarantine,
to do all
shut
that
in,
shit.
subscribe,
We're
fucking
working-
drive. We're trying to get shit going off. Thank you guys for watching right now, whoever's
We're-
been watching. Sorry, Miguel, I thought you were going to...
Wait. No.
What's that?
We're working on
Yeah.
we're working on doing some stickers and shit and other stuff. But we'll have those for when this quarantine shit is over. Remember to stay safe. Remember to don't stay home for you. Do it for your fucking elders and people that are sick for reals.
Hey,
So don't
like
be
that,
don't be an
how dare
asshole.
you?
I always say that
How
shit. Don't be a fucking asshole, bitch. I mean, at least if you're gonna be in El Paso, you want to take a walk, that's fine, dude. Don't fucking go to like some other fucking place, some other country, some other like state that's all fucked up, and then come back
Bro,
and like expect hugs and shit.
ticket prices are
Don't do that
$60 right now, dog. $60 round trips to Japan, fool.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, don't buy all the fucking toilet paper.
People, I'm
What
telling
the
you,
fuck
bro,
is that
like
shit about?
crazy shit like this really shows what people really are.
My found footage movie is gonna be about me finding some toilet paper.
That possible fighting dudes off.
And it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be scary, dude. It's gonna be like
It's already scary.
I don't know. Anyway, so with that said, like I said, click like, share, subscribe. Remember to fucking follow us on Instagram at Nitro Podcast. Follow Sucio. I love Sucio.
Stay sweet, don't change. Have a
And
great
we'll
summer.
see you
Keep
next
in
time,
touch.
bitches.
Bye.
Later.